Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Tuesday. And so today we're going to be doing a Thankful Garden card. This card is a little bit, everybody's card's going to look different, right? Because you're going to be using daubers, and the daubers are going to obviously be light and dark in different areas. So I'm just going to show you my little trick here, and then we'll get started. So let me put the camera down, less chatting, more stamping. Okay, so let me get this camera down to where we can see. All right, so today we are going to use the Thankful Garden dies and stamp set. So I'm going to be using daubers and 4 different colors of ink. This is Pretty in Pink, which is let's see, Pretty in Pink is a bright, right? I can't think. Pretty in Pink. Strawberry Slush is a new in color, returning in color. Lemon Lime Twist and Granny Apple Green, those are brights also. So the first thing we're going to do is I got out my die. I'm going to be using this stamp, the flower stamp from Thankful Garden. And so this is the coordinating die. Fortunately, this die will fit perfectly in the mini cut and emboss, so I'm going to be using that today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these daubers, and I'm going to do some quick daubing to make this card really cute. And I have just the right, I don't have any extra on the sides of this piece of white cardstock. So what I first did was I laid my stamp down on here to see, like, if I was going to make this, how I would, if I want to make the leaves one color and the flowers another color, where I would stop daubing in. And that's what these little pen marks are, okay? So those pen marks are not going to be cut. They're going to be actually thrown away with the trash. So I did that on both of these, so I can kind of, I hope that makes sense. So when I lay the die down, I can actually see. Well, you'll see when I get done. Okay, so I'm going to use Pretty in Pink first, and I'm just going to daub ink. And I'm going to kind of do light and dark, so I'm going to just go with it. Some of it will be lighter and some of it will be darker, okay? So I'm just going to do little daubs like this, okay? And then you'll see some light spots and some dark spots. And I'm not going to cover the whole piece, right? I'm just going to make these little areas like that. I'm going to do it on both of these. You could do this with a sponge. You could do it with, this just works really well. You could do it with your blending brushes, but you're not going to get these, obviously, these circles. You're just going to get more of a smooth ink, okay? All right, so I think that's enough of that. Now I'm going to bring in the Strawberry Slush. Do the same thing. So my daubers last longer if you wash them in between use. They will be, they will actually be stained, but the ink won't deteriorate the foam as fast. I found that to be true. They don't hold up forever anyway. It really doesn't matter. But just saying that if you do wash them in between, they're super easy to wash. I just leave them on my finger. I just put a little soap in my hand. I scrub them in my hand, and then I rinse them really good. Super easy. Okay. All right, that one's done. Used a lot of pink on that one, dark pink. I'm not going to bring as much dark pink in on this one, I think. Leave it. Kind of let the light pink kind of take over. I think that's good. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with the greens. So I'm going to do Lemon Lime Twist first, the lighter green. Oh, I love that color. It's just so bright and cheerful. Kind of reminds me of fresh cut grass. You know, when you first, like in the spring, when your grass is just really pretty and fresh. It's kind of the color it reminds me of. I love it. I don't know if I ever was really a green, lover, but lately I really have started loving green. Okay, and now I'm just going to use Granny Apple Green, which is a little bit darker green. Not a whole lot darker, but you can see the difference. Maybe just a little bit richer. And this one, a cool technique. I mean, you could do this with any die. You don't even really have to have the, well, do you have to have the stamp? I mean, it really does help, but okay, looking good. All right, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take that stamp and I'm going to use my black memento and I'm going to stamp it on here. Okay, so this is kind of a big stamp, so I'm going to do it this way. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but sometimes it's easier to ink up your stamp if you do it upside down. It's a bigger stamp. Okay, so now I just have to position this on here so I can get the whole stamp in. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Okay, so now you can see the green and then the pinks. Okay, I'll do the same thing on this one. So I'm going to cut 2 of these out to make the card. That's why I went ahead and did 2. But you know what? If you're like me, usually I don't just make one card. If I like a card, I will make more than one. Especially if it's kind of a sentiment that I can use for different things. So, for example, you know, oh, happy day. I made that card last week. Oh, happy day. That can be an anything card. So don't put anything on the inside. Just put that on the outside, and then you can leave the inside blank. And when you need a card, you know, if it's a graduation card, you can say, you know, happy graduation. If it's a birthday, happy birthday. You can make it whatever. Okay, now I'm going to cut these out. Okay, so I have my mini cut and emboss here. And like I said, this will fit nicely on here. My plates are really etched. So I'm hoping that this doesn't move around. I have that on there right. I think I do. Okay, so there's one. Look at that. Isn't that so cute? So, you know, there's masks for these also. For this this bundle, there's masks, but look at this. This is just like super quick and easy. And, you know, you could make, if you're making them, you could, you know, pull out your purples and you could make some purple ones. You can make all different ones. Do I have that lined up? I think I do. Okay, good. Okay, so I have those done. Do that. Okay, so now here's my card base. And here's a funny story too. This card base I was using for another card and I had scored it. Well, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I think I can reuse that. So if you have score lines in a cardstock, you can take your bone folder and you can actually work some of those old score lines out by just pressing your bone folder across them pretty hard, right? To kind of work those out. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know because it's such a cute card. Okay, so there's my card base. And then I have a piece of white. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. I ran it through the Birchwood 3D folder. And again, I put 1 and 4. You use platform and then your gray plate, which is 4, to run a 3D folder. Okay, so this is textured now. So I'm going to use my glue and glue this down. Cover up that score line. Sneaky, huh? Okay, so now I have these. So I'm going to put one flat and one popped up. Okay, so I think this one, I think I might cut this stem off because I don't really need that on this one. Okay, so I'm going to make this one flat. And then I'll make the other one popped up. Okay, so I'll do that one flat. And where's my dimensionals? I think I have a little pack right here. A little tiny pack. Oh, no, those aren't. Here we go. Got a new pack. Okay, my dimensionals are over there on the other side of the table, so we are just going to use these. Doesn't matter because I always, oh my goodness, pull off a whole bunch. I always have to be using, I use a ton of dimensionals. My classes, I almost always pop stuff up. Okay, so we're going to take these off. And then we'll pop this up. Now for the sentiment, there are some nice sentiments in Thankful Garden. Look at that. So cute. All right. Yeah, I didn't want that other piece of stem to show. That's why I cut this off. Okay, so for the sentiment, there are some nice sentiments in here. You make a difference with love, but I wanted something, I kind of wanted something like, make this a thank you card. So I'm using spring corners. And you're thinking, how's that going to work, Travis? I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, it will, because I am going to say, no, not wishing you an amazing day. I want to say, is this it? Thank you. Yes. Okay, so here's the stamp I want to use. And it says, thank you for everything. Now, this would have been cute kind of up here, but I didn't set the card up that way, right? So I want it to be long and skinny. So I'm going to use some Scotch tape. And I'm actually going to put this down like this. Okay, so I'm just going to say thank you. So I'm going to do some omitting. And so the ink got on the tape, and then when I pull the tape off, it just says thank you. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that. I think it'll work on here. Thank you. And then I want this part, which says for everything. So now I'm going to clean my stamp. And then I'm going to put tape over thank you. I don't know if you've ever done this before, but this is a great omitting technique. So you put tape. Oh, the chair gets caught on this carpet every day. I'd use it. Okay, so that's over that now. So now I'm going to ink up for everything. Now don't forget to take the tape off, right? Hope that doesn't come across. Well, we'll see. I really inked it up. For everything, oh man, it's not going to fit. Yes, it is. It's barely going to fit. For everything, right there. Look at that. So I took a curve and I made it straight. That's just what I wanted to show you. And now it's too long for my card. Oh, Travis. Okay, so we're going to Frankenstein this. We're going to cut this. And I'm going to cut this down just a smidge, too long. I don't want it this deep. I'm going to cut this down. I do this kind of stuff all the time, and people are like, ah. Okay, and then you, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to pop these up. This will be just as cute this way. It would have been great if it would have fit on the card. It would have fit this way, but not this way. Okay. Okay. So, thank you. For everything. Now we're going to add just a few of these little bling. These are the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink Gems. perfect for this card, right? Because those are the two, oops, those are the two colors that I used. And here's the bonus. You get these ones that are clear. Yeah, they don't tell you that, but you do. Okay, so I'm just going to add 3 gems. And I'm going to add a pretty in pink up here. And a pretty in pink down here. And a strawberry slush up here. Okay, so I hope you like the card. I mean, it was a little, that was a little off the wall there at the end, but I hope you enjoyed it. And my name's Trevis Bossler, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Louis, Missouri. I will see you on Friday for another card. Thanks for watching.